Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the Python programming class, lecture number 5. So today we will learn about the method overriding in a Python. So in this today's lecture we will learn what is a method overriding is, how we should perform a method overriding in Python. We will learn about all those things. So what is a method overriding? When a method in a subclass has a same name as a method in its base class, then the method in the subclass is said to be the overridden the method in the superclass. For example, the main prerequisite in order to understand the method overriding is inheritance concept. So in my earlier classes I have discussed about the various inheritance concepts. So in my earlier classes I have told you what is the inheritance is, where I have to use an inheritance, what is the purpose of using an inheritance. We have discussed about all those things, and next we have discussed about the types of inheritance in a Python. So the types of inheritance in Python are, first one is a single inheritance, next one is a multiple inheritance, and next one is a multi-level inheritance, and next is a hierarchical inheritance. So these are the various types of inheritance, and then we have discussed about the importance of a self keyword, and next we have discussed about a constructor in a Python, how a constructor works in an inheritance, that we have discussed, and next we have discussed about the importance of a super keyword. So coming to the method overriding, what is a method overriding is, for example, I am having a class A. Observe carefully. Here I am having a class A. I am having a two classes, class A, and next here I am having a class of B, which is inheriting the class A. So observe carefully, the pictorial representation is, here I am having a one class, this is a class A, and here I am having a one more class, that is a class of B. This class of B is inheriting the properties from a class A. So this I am calling it as a parent class. This I can call it as a parent class, and then this I am calling as a child class, or I can call it as a derived class, and this can be called as a base class as well. I hope this is clear for you. So observe carefully, here I am having two classes, class A, class B. Here class A is a base class, sorry, class A is a base class. Here the class B is a derived class. Here class B is a derived class. For example, in the class A I am having a one method, and the name of that method is a method of A method, and it is taking self as an argument followed by parenthesis, and inside here I am writing one print statement, print method A. And here observe carefully, here I am taking one more method, define of method, and this is taking a self as an argument, and here I am writing a print statement, print of method B, method of B. So observe carefully here, here I have taken a class A and a class B, and this is a single inheritance. Here I am going with a single inheritance concept. This is a single inheritance concept. Observe carefully, here I have taken a one method inside a class A. Inside a class I have taken one method, and the name of that method is a method. And here in my class B, again I have taken one method, and the name of that method is a method. If you observe this one and this one, the name of both the methods are similar. So as a result, this method has been overridden. This method has been overridden in this class. So as a result, what happens is the older one will be vanished and we will have the new one. So this concept is known as a method overriding. I hope this is clear for you what is a method overriding is. And next I have to create an object for this one. So I'll create an object here. Obviously we have to create an object of a child class. So here what I'm doing is I have taken one variable b1 is equal to the name of the child, that is a b. What I'm doing is b1 dot method, b1 dot method. So what happens is I'm invoking the method which was there inside in a child class. So as a result, when I execute this program, what I'll get here is output. What I'll get here is output is equal to method of b. This is the output I'll get. So this concept is known as a method overriding in Python. I hope this is clear for you. So coming to the next one, method overriding with a multiple inheritance. So coming to the next one is method overriding with a multiple inheritance. So in this session we will learn about the how a method overriding will work in a multiple inheritance. So observe carefully. What I am doing is I have taken a class of parent, and next what I am doing is I am taking one more class of parent 2. I have taken a two classes. I am taking a class of child, and this is taking the properties from a parent 1 and a parent 2. So this is my class, and inside this what I am doing is I am writing one function definition of show, and here I am passing a self as an argument. So print inside parent 1, inside a parent 1, and here I am taking a one more function, that is a def of display, and here I am taking a self as an argument, and next I am taking a print inside of parent 2, inside of a parent 2. And coming to the child class, what I am doing is here I am taking a one more function def of show of self, and here I am taking a print of inside child. So I am done with a creation of a three classes, and next what I'll do is I'll create a one derived class, so one driver class. So what I'll do is created a one object, obj is equal to child. So obj dot show obj dot display. So as a result, now it will give me a output here. The output here would be, what it will give is inside child, and the output for this one is inside parent, inside a parent 2. So this is all about the how a method overriding will work in a multiple inheritance. So observe, if you want me to draw a pictorial representation, observe carefully. Here I am having a two classes. This is a parent 1 and this is a parent 2. So a child is having a child class. This child class is deriving the properties from a parent 1 and a parent 2. So this is how a method overriding will work in a multiple inheritance. So next we will talk about how a method overriding will work in a multi-level inheritances. Yeah. So now we will understand how a multiple inheritance will work in along with a method overriding in a Python. So observe carefully. Here I'll illustrate with a small example. Observe what I'm doing here is I have taken one class of parent 1, and next what I'm doing is I have taken a one more class, a class of parent 2, and next what I have done is class of this child is taking the properties from a parent 1 as well as from the parent 2. And next what I am doing is I am going to write down a driver code here, my driver code here. So obviously I'll create the object of a child class obj of child, and next what I'm doing is I'll invoke a method obj of show, and next one is obj of display. So these are the two methods I'm going to invoke. So I have to write these two methods inside my class. So observe carefully, here in my parent class I am writing a one more method, and the name of that method is a show, and here inside this I am passing a self as an argument. And next what I am doing is print inside a parent 1, and here next what I am doing is writing a one more method, and the name of that method is a display of self, print of inside a parent 2. And next what I am doing here is in the child class I am writing a one more method, and the name of that method is a show of self, print of inside a child. So done, I am done writing it. So observe carefully, the hierarchical diagram here is I am having a parent 1, and I am having a parent 2, and I am having a child. This child is inheriting the properties from a parent 1 and a parent 2, and this type of diagrammatical representation that we are calling as a multiple inheritance. This is a multiple inheritance. Observe carefully, here the method show and the show both are overridden in the parent one as well as in a child class. So when I execute this program, what I'll get is the output here I'll get is inside a child. This is the output I am going to get, and for this what I'll get is inside a parent 2. This is the output I am going to get. So this is how a multiple inheritance will work when we go with a method overriding in a inheritance. So coming to the next technique, that is how a method overriding will work in a multi-level inheritance, that I am going to discuss. So we will learn about a multi-level inheritance in a method overriding is when we have a child and a grandchild relationship, that we are calling it as a multi-level inheritance. Now with a small example, we will understand how a method overriding will act in a multi-level inheritance is. So before going into a multi-level inheritance, within a small pictorial representation, I want to show you how a multi-level inheritance will look. So in the multi-level inheritance, I'm having one class number 1, and in the next one I'm having a class 2, and last I'm having a class 3. This I'm calling is as a base class, and this I am calling as a intermediate base class, and this I am calling it as a child class. Intermediate base class will take the properties from a parent, and the base class will take the properties from an intermediate base class. So observe the example clearly. What I am doing here is I am taking one class of parent. I am taking one class of parent, and next one what I am doing is I am taking a one more class, a class of child, and a class of child is taking the properties from a parent, and next one what I am going to do is class of grandchild, and this grandchild is taking the properties from the child class. So total I'm having a 3 classes, and next what I am doing is I'll take a driver code, which means from here I'll call the remaining classes, and this class parent, class child and class grandchildren are which are nothing but a classes, which is nothing but my blueprint. Observe here I have created a one variable g. So g is equal to grandchild, g is equal to grandchild. So next what I'm doing is g dot show, and next one is g dot display. So these are the two, from this I'm invoking a methods. So the pending part here is I have to write down the methods inside my classes. So observe carefully, here I'm taking a one class def of display, def display. Inside here I'm writing a self. So print inside parent class, inside a parent class. So I am inside a parent class, and next what I am doing is I'll take a one more method def of show. I'll pass a self. So print inside a child, and next one is I am taking a one more method def of show self. So print of, what I am doing is inside a grandchild, inside a grandchild. So I am done writing here. So this is my parent class, and this is my child class, which is nothing but a intermediate base class, and here I am having a grandchild, which is nothing but a base class. I hope this is clear for you. So when I have created the object of a child class, I have created the object of a child class. I have explained you what is the purpose of creating a child class object here, and next with the child class object reference variable I am invoking the method show. Since here the show and show here I have overridden, so obviously the overridden method will be executed. So the output would be here is inside a grandchild, this is my output, and next one is g dot display. So g dot display will print me the output inside a parent class, inside a parent class. So this is the output, it would be printed here inside a parent class. So this is how a multi-level inheritance will work in a Python. So observe carefully, in the starting of my class I have explained you what is a method overriding is, how a method overriding will work in a Python, that I have explained you, and I have shown you within a simple example. And next we have discussed about a multiple inheritance in a Python. Along with that I have shown you how a method overriding will work there, and next one is I have discussed about a multi-level inheritance, and along with that method, how a method overriding is going to work, I have shown you. So that's all for today. So in the next class I'll discuss about how a data hiding is achieved in a Python, that we are going to discuss. If you are from a C++ and Java programming, there in order to hide a data we use a 3 access specifiers. In that the first one is a public, and second one is a protected, and next one is a private. So these are the 3 access specifiers in C++ and Java that we are familiar. So in the Python, instead of using a public, private and protected, here I will use a underscore symbols in order to achieve a data hiding. So we will go through the classes and we will understand how it is worked. Coming to the data hiding in a Python, we use a double underscore before the attribute name, and those attributes hide from the other classes in the program. So observe carefully. For example, here I am writing a is equal to 10, underscore of a is equal to 10, underscore of a is equal to 10. So observe the differences between these 3. Observe the differences between these 3. So in the first one, this is nothing but a public access specifier. So whenever I'm not writing any underscore before a identifier, which means my Python interpreter will assume it to be a public. And coming to the next one here I have used a one underscore symbol, and my Python interpreter will assume it to be a protected access specifier. And observe carefully, here I have used a two underscore symbols, and my Python interpreter will assume it to be a private access specifier. So understand the differences between if I am not writing anything before an identifier, which means that it is a public, and if I am writing one single underscore here, which means that it is in a protected it is in the protected access specifier. If I am using a two underscore symbols here, which means that I am going with a private access specifier. So when to use a public, what are the life scope of a public, protected and private, that I will explain. Observe carefully. It is within the program. The scope of this one is within the program. The scope of this one is within the program. And next one is visible in the class and in subclass. Visible in the class and in the subclass. And next one is visible within the class only. So this is visible within the class. Outside the class I cannot access a private identifiers. And whenever I am going with a protected, so in the protected is visible within the class and in the subclass, and public within the program I can access from anywhere. So these are the three access specifiers we should be familiar with coming to a data hiding in a Python. So now we will work out with a small example. I will write a small program. There you will understand how a public, protected and private keywords are going to work. So coming to the example part, what I am doing is, here I will take a three attributes. In that the first identifier would be a public type, and in the second identifier which is of a type protected, and coming to the third identifier which is of a private. So we will understand how it will work when I work with an inheritance, and the type of inheritance here I am taking is a single inheritance. Observe carefully. What I am doing here is, I am taking a class of A. I am taking a class A, and here what I am doing is A is equal to 10, underscore B is equal to 20, underscore C is equal to 30. So I have taken a three identifiers, and these identifiers are of type, all these are instance variables. All these are the instance variables. And here what I am doing is, here I am taking a one more method, and the name of that method is a def of method A, and here I am passing a self as an argument. Observe carefully. So print of, what I am doing is, I want to print the value of A, self dot A, and next one is print of self dot underscore B, and next one is print of self dot underscore C. So these are the three things I am taking. And next what I am doing is, I will take a one more class of B, and this class of B is taking all the properties from a class of A. This is taking all the properties from a class of A. So here what I am doing is, here I am taking a method def of method of B of self. Here I have taken and next what I am doing is, here I am writing print of self dot A, print of self dot underscore of B, and next one print of self dot underscore of C. I'm done with a class of B, and next what I'm doing is I'll take a driver code here. So what I'm doing is driver code. I'm writing a driver code here. So in the driver code, what I'm doing is, first of all, I'll create the object of a class A. So A1 is equal to, what I'm doing is A1 is equal to A, and next one A1 dot method of A. So when I have written A1 dot method A, when I execute my program, the answer would be 10, 20 and 30, because this all the instance variables are there inside a class A. That is why without any error I'll get the answer as a 10, 20, 30. And next what I'm doing is I'll create the object of a B class. B1 is equal to B, and next one B1 dot method of B. So B1 dot method of B, print of self dot A, and it will give me a 10 as an answer. And since it is in the form of a protected, it is in a protected identifier, so protected identified variable can be accessed within the class. So next I will get an answer as a 20, and this is in a private mode. That is why this class cannot access the C. Here what I'll get is the answer would be an error. So this is how a public, a protected and a private access specifiers will be working in my Python. I hope from this example everything is clear for you, how a data hiding is achieved in a Python. So that's all for today. In the coming class, in the next lecture, we'll talk about how a exception handling is going to work in a Python. So in my next 2 classes, I'll talk about a exception handling. That's all for today. Thank you.